So Tony's painting all these posts. They've all had their post caps on. And there's several different sections of the balcony done. The workshop's looking a bit cleaner and tidier. A bit more organised. Oh, it's busy here. They're like the little elves working. I should make you some Christmas hats. Like Santa's workshop. Because this is actually going to be a present for someone. But by the time this video goes out, they will have already received it. How many pieces will there be altogether?
Sorry?
How many pieces will you need altogether?
5.
5. Unfortunately, we're short of a few bars, although we ordered it a month ago. Not all our packages arrived, and then they've sent us another one, which still hasn't arrived. So we're praying it turns up tomorrow. Else we'll be 1 panel short. Okay. He's been pulled out and put in his stand. He needs a little bit of painting up on the stand, I think, now. But this is one of Tony's creations, this prawn. He's actually one of my favourites. He's travelled round to a couple of our houses now. And he's now in his forever home. But I love him. This is one of Tony's sculptures. Yeah, unfortunately, he's very clever, but he doesn't get around to doing them very often. So we've got to find a very special place in the garden. I think he might end up in my potager eventually. Or definitely perhaps down by the river. We'll see. But we will find him a nice home soon. Oh, and I can see the cleaning fairy's been at the bins. Wow. Oh, she's waved her magic wand over the bins. They look so much better because they were all mucky where they had been stored in this barn where the roof was all leaking. But yeah, we've had them, just had them emptied, most of them. Tracy's been busy. You can actually see what colours they are now. We've just come shopping in the nearby town where that beautiful church is, and I've just seen in the distance that it's all lit up, which I never knew happened. I've never been here in the dark before. I'll try and get a closer picture for you. Right, I've just pulled around the corner a little bit closer so that I can show you the church all lit up. It's absolutely beautiful. This is like a little park bit I'm standing in. But wow, I didn't even know that it lit up like that. Didn't even know there was glass in it. I'm going to try and zoom in. But that is like, it's like a Christmas tree in the sky. You can see it from miles away. There must be a way to get up the tower as well, maybe. But wow, it's lit up from below. Obviously there's spotlight shining onto it. But that's amazing, I love it. Christmas tree in the sky. I've just pulled along a bit closer to it because you can actually see that it's not windows. Ah! Wow! I've never heard it ring either. That must be a clock. And yeah, it's beautifully lit up from below. As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by the bell, these are not windows, these are just openings. It looks like a beautiful balcony. It's absolutely gorgeous, I love it. And it's even got, I'll go a little bit closer, and it's even got a beautiful stained window here, and I'm sure it has a matching one on the other side, but we can't park the other side. Wow, they're gorgeous, look at that. They are really, really pretty. And it's beautiful to see it. The whole thing. It's almost as if it's specially lit up for Christmas. Well, I've got a tree in the way, but I'm just going to try and walk down this very slightly closer. Wow, it's amazing. I can hear another bell. That was way off in the distance. Oh, the lights have gone on. Someone's switching all the lights off. Oh, but wow, that's amazing. I think I've been really lucky here to catch this. I don't know if you can make that out, probably not at this distance. But Tony has fitted the balconette. I just got back from shopping and he's been busy and he's fitted the balconette up in the new window. That's amazing. How quickly did he do that? He only made it yesterday, then it's been painted, now it's been fitted. It looks brilliant. I love it. Today I'm making some Yorkshire puddings. I'm going to take some to the Chateau for our Christmas lunch, and the rest I'm going to put it in the freezer for our next dinner in a few days' time. So the ingredients are eggs, milk, flour, plain flour or all-purpose flour, not the self-raising flour. So eggs, milk, flour and a little bit of seasoning, so a little bit of salt and pepper. I've broken one egg into the bowl already. I'm going to make at least 12, so I'm going to use half a dozen eggs. Now, if you can, don't use really fresh eggs. If you have your own chickens, use the ones that are a few days old, because they rise better. I don't know why, but they do. So I'm going to break half a dozen eggs in the bowl. Now, I'm making these in the morning because I'm going to then let the batter rest until I want to cook them later on. So I'll mix it up in the morning, leave it to sit in the fridge for a couple of hours at least. You can make it instantly, but it just seems to rise better if you do it this way. Right, let's just wash my hands. Into those eggs, I'm going to add about 3/4 of a pint of milk. I'm using what they call demi-creme, semi-skimmed, because that's what I've got, but you can use full fat if you want to. I'm going to lightly whisk those together. You don't have to beat it, you can use a fork if you need to. Break up the yolks. Right, I'll just combine the milk and the eggs together. I think I might actually add just a little bit more milk into that. So probably almost a pint of milk. When you've done this as many times as I have, you just sort of do it by feel. Right, and then we're going to use all-purpose flour I've got here. This is like a plain flour without any raising agents added. So funnily enough, if you use the flour with the raising agents, it doesn't rise so much. Anyway, so I'm going to add this into the mixture. I'm not weighing it. What I do is I keep adding the flour until I can tell the consistency, which is going to be a loose batter. And it will still have a few lumps in it to start with, but they will dissolve once you leave it in the fridge for a little while. A little bit more flour. I suppose what I'm looking for is quite a thin batter, a bit like a pancake mixture. Not quite there yet. Ah, getting there. Oh, a little bit more. I say, combine it gently. Don't worry if there's a few lumps in it. You can sieve the flour if you want to. But those lumps will dissolve into the mixture anyway as it sits there. Right. A touch more. And keep going, adding a little flour, mixing it in until we get the right consistency. And if you add a little bit too much flour, then you can just add a little drop more milk to loosen it. I think we're getting there. It feels slightly heavy as you're mixing it. Obviously it's quite runny. Well, I think we're there. So I'm just going to season that and leave that in the fridge until later on. And we will cook them. Oh, also we do need some oil. A hot oil. So this one says it's for chips. I'm still getting used to the oils here in France. But yeah, you want a decent temperature because you want your oven fairly high. Don't want to come back to that. Right, yeah, I'm just going to leave that in the fridge for a little while and then I'll come back later on, give it a mix up, there won't be any lumps. We can heat our oil up in the oven and then we can cook them. I'm going to a little bit of salt. I'm going to add a good pinch of black pepper. That, and pop it in the fridge to rest for a little while. You can even do this overnight if you're, for instance, for Christmas dinner, if you want to cook them fresh, you can mix up the batter the evening before and then use it for your lunch. It will still be usable, it'll be fine. Right, it's much later in the day now. I'm going to cook my Yorkshire puddings. Now, I've got a proper Yorkshire pudding tray, the shallow one. But if you haven't got one of these, I've also used a big old muffin tray. Now that is clean. It's just a very well used pan and it's scrupulously clean. Now, a little teaspoonful, maybe a little bit more oil in each one. Then we're going to heat that up in the oven on a very high heat. What we want is to get that oil very, very hot until it's not quite burning, but it's almost smoking. So I'm going to pop those in to heat up. And so I've got my oven on about 230. And once it's heated up, we're going to bring it out and add the mixture. Now my batter mixture has been sitting in the fridge for several hours now. And as you can see, it's all frothed up a little bit, like that will help it raise. Just going to mix it back in together and make sure that there's no lumps in it, that they've all disintegrated. It's looking pretty smooth. And it's got a fair few bubbles in it, which is what I like to see. I don't have a ladle, so I'd either normally pour it from a jug. I'm going to try and pour it from this. But I would normally pour it from a jug or ladle it in, but it needs to go in the batter, in the hot oil quite quickly, and then back in the hot oven. We'll come back once the oil is ready. Right, I've taken the pans out of the oven because the oil is starting to smoke. That's what we want to hear, we want to sizzle. We're doing sort of small pancake sizes, or small muffin sizes. And we want to get it back in the oven quick and shut the door on it and not open the door again until we're sure that they've risen. Oops. As you can see, I've transferred it to a jug only because it's easier to get it in there quicker. I'll put it back in the oven, very high oven. I'll put it on a middle shelf because they will rise quite a lot. So if there's a shelf above it, I'd remove it if I was you. And I've put it in the middle shelf because if I put it too high up in my oven, the top tends to burn before the bottom is cooked. So I'm going to give those about 10-15 minutes. And I shall come back, I shall check on them after about 10 minutes. Alright, I'll come back to check on them. And they've risen up nicely. These are the ones in the shallow tray, they come out like a cup shape. And I'm just going to turn them over so that they crisp up slightly on the bottom. They don't usually stick much, but... Right, turn them over, let them crisp up a little bit. And then I can do another batch. Wow. They're light and fluffy, and they smell amazing. Just going to crisp them up for a couple more minutes. And these are the ones in the muffin tin. Slightly different shape, slightly thicker on the bottom, but yeah, I'm just going to turn these around, crisp them up a little bit on the bottom. But they've risen well. Ouch, hot. And straight back in the hot oven, so you don't want them to collapse. Brilliant. And there we are, these ones are ready. As you can see, they're lovely and crispy. And light and fluffy. Traditional Yorkshire puddings. Amazing, served up with some roast beef and gravy. But we pretty much have them with every roast dinner we do. Quick and easy to make and fairly cheap. We've come to the Chateau. We've come here for our Christmas dinner. And we're staying over, and then we're doing New Year's Eve as well, which is amazing. Aren't we lucky?
Mais moi je suis où? C'est juste que tout à l'heure j'avais fait la manette et... Oui mais regarde lâche. Tu vois? Donne-moi ça. C'est... En même temps il y a une seule personne qui joue. C'est un entraînement. Attends.
Oh, I bet it must be really hot up here and dusty. And I can feel a breeze. Oh, wow. Should have brought a torch. Didn't really think about it. Oh, blimey. So they've just shoved all this insulation on the floor.
Yep.
And they've traipsed around all over it.
Yep.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
It is.
So is that all coming through that broken window, that breeze?
That breeze is, yeah.
Right. It's all spongy. And this is where the what was it? Hailstone broke the window.
Yeah.
But it's again, obviously I knew it was going to be massive, but what is that? It's a doorway.
Yeah.
Right.
All sorts of weird and wonderful things up here. So this will be the top of our tower. In through here. Yeah, you're right. The floors are fine.
Can you see? Can't see a lot.
Can't see
Oh, of course, because all the shutters are shut, but it's massive. Right.
How else you weren't using these at all?
No.
Oh my god, look what you got to do.
I know. There's a lot to do. Put that.
Right.
these ones
Massive
stay
doors.
shut, you don't open them.
So this is over your bit?
Yeah.
Oh,
this
what's
is
that bit over there
my
then?
bedroom. That's our little tower.
Oh, it comes right up here.
So
So this is the top of the back tower. Why an arch though? And then there's a window on that side. I didn't realise there was a window on that side.
because there's a poo.
From
The
I
dog.
don't know.
who?
Dave won't come up here.
Oh, there's more. Or what it looks like.
Yeah.
There's some creature up here then, yeah?
Yeah.
That's probably why he doesn't want to come up here.
Well, I'll go round then.
Oh,
Is it a big poo?
it is quite big.
Yeah. That's quite a big poo.
We've
that,
got
isn't
a
it?
creature that's been up here.
Sort of knew that there was something living in the roof of the office
Right,
because you can hear it scratching about.
right.
it's
They
like,
get quite a lot of
what
them,
the
and
fuck's
you've, with all those trees and that there, that
Oh,
would
there's another
be.
big poo over there.
So this is the window that got broken by the hailstone.
I know. I've got a bit of perspex I'll cut out and replace.
Well,
them.
yeah, even if it just sort of stops
Just
the weather
for
for a
now.
little while.
And then we'll take
But I
the
mean,
window.
what an amazing shaped part of the roof. This would make a lovely room
Yeah.
with that window. You could have a dressing area in that window there. I just, it's so quirky, the shape of it, isn't it? But yeah, I'm a bit intrigued as to what creature is leaving you these little parcels. Let's hope he's asleep. Because it must be quite a big creature. Oh, what's that? Another room?
Yeah. Watch the poop down there.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid. Wow. So this is another room off of the back here. Obviously these rooms have not been touched for years. These would have been servants' quarters, surely. There's none of the finery up here. But there's lots of fitted cabinets. There's actually a light in this one, I think. Let's see. Oh. No, maybe not. Oh, yes. Yes, we have a light in this one. Not a lot else, to be honest. Lots of insulation just all thrown all over the floors. I can't really get in there. There is a lot of rooms, so they must have had a lot of servants, mustn't they? And even the servants would have had decent sized rooms.
So yeah.
There's no bathrooms or anything up here though.
There's 2 little rooms off of these ones where you would have a little.
Like a little basin and that, I suppose, and pose and things. But yeah, decent enough sized rooms. So when you're starting on all these? I got to start finish downstairs first.
Yeah.
Get your kitchen sorted first.
Yes.
I'm just wondering where this creature would be hiding out. Probably further up in the roof.
Yeah, I know.
Bigger than ours.
I mean, you've even got obviously further higher up roof up here.
Yeah.
Because there's like a loft above a loft almost. Oh, this one's huge as well. Oh. Oh, I see what you mean. They've got like little ante-rooms. Oh, this one's a posh one. This one's got a fireplace. Yeah. Again, none of the fancy bits downstairs. But equally so, a reasonable enough fireplace. This must have been one of the posher servants at this end. Wallpaper's quite interesting as well. It's got like a fleur-de-lis pattern on that piece. And then these borders. And there's like a little dark area. So I'm not going to go too far into, which is probably where the creature is. And the light still works. Yeah, this one's got a reasonable enough fireplace, a marble one. Nowhere near as posh as downstairs, obviously. And we've got a decent sized window. And also have this stripy wallpaper, and then there's other stuff underneath it. Interesting, very interesting. That's what looks like to be a bee's nest, part of a bee's nest maybe, hiding in the insulation over there. Switch these lights off. And they've still got the old keys in the door as well. Ah, now I don't think you can see, but those little ante-rooms have got a tiny little window. Now you won't be able to see that. But it's only thin partition walls. Right, cupboards. Right, who's sneezing? See that end, you've got those two rooms with the fireplace,
Yeah.
and the little ante-room bit.
Yeah.
And if you look on the wall, you've got like a little piece of glass that would have let a little bit of light
Right.
into those. So that would have been like the butler, or you know, the posh servants would have
Yeah.
had that bit, because the other one's got no heating.
No.
So is that actually
Those.
a cupboard behind
Yeah,
there?
it's cupboard.
Right. Because you can see some glass up there. Let me go round there.
Jane, are you alright if I leave you to it?
Yeah.
You sure?
That's amazing, Deb. So interesting. I'll be down in a sec.
Okay.
So we have the creature. Ooh, there's no fireplace in this one either. And there seems to be a few smaller poopies over there. Maybe it's a family of creatures. It's a bit worrying. Right, but where is it? Or is it left? Yeah, this sort of Chinese-y style wallpaper. Even that's pretty old. Look at the back of it. It's really grey. Interesting. It would be interesting to know the dates of these things. Wow. And it would be interesting to see what's under all this insulation, whether there's anything been left here. And then through to the other round window, which is the other side of the house. And we arrived at the top of these stairs.
Yeah, no, oh, don't get me wrong. What's that? Is it Yorkshire? Ah, it's can I test the moisture in here or something? Yeah, I think so.
Temperature and things.
To be honest, I think probably the cigars are working. Yeah. They do smoke well, do they?
Oh, well.
Where is a cigar? Okay, I might have one later on.
Yeah, I know. But what cigars are they?
Somebody's made a put a lock on there.
Oh God, yeah.
It's
There
to
must have
keep
been
the
some.
staff out.
Yeah.
Because they'll
Yeah.
be thieving them.
Yeah, put a bedtime.
Costa Rica, these are.
Stop them.
Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, yeah.
Shall I leave you doing some videoing?
You could do. Have a little wander. Do I need to lock it up? Pinot Noir. $1991 Beaujolais. Another 1991 Beaujolais. This is one of the Beaujolais that you can store. You can't store all of them. Bourges. Givry, 1998. That looks very interesting. These packs of cigars just sitting everywhere. Packs and packs of the small ones, the big ones. What does that one say? That says an old Vieux Poirier, 1988. There's another one there. Vieux Poirier, 1988. There's quite a lot of those. I believe they must all be the same, those. I can't read that one. Oh, a Manitou Salon, 1989. Now that's one of the very local vineyards. What do we have along here? Demanda Chastany, Bordeaux Cleary, 1992. And a Gewurztraminer, we looked at that before. That is the sweet one. Well, Priory of Bourg Rouge. Priory of Bourg Rouge. Oh, what's this one? Wow, Petit Chablis. A Petit Chablis, 86. I do like a Chablis. Wow. Wooey is a nearby vineyard as well. That's a 1990, that one. We tried one of those before and it was really good. Well, anyway, I'm getting the creeps a bit. Oh. It's 1993. I can't film the rest because it's too dark. It says Chateau du Tertre Margaux, 1993. Oh, Dave's come to see what I'm up to. I'm just coming up, Dave. Come on. Oh, come along, David. I'm going to stand back and get a good view of the gate now. There's nobody down there. I've only got a snippet of it before, but it's absolutely amazing. Wow, that gate, and it's built into the shape of the carve. I'd love to know how long that gate's been on there. Well, it's pretty amazing. These old hinges, the obligatory bit of woodworm. Yeah, and the old cut nails. I just love these slats. These slats that have been cut in it.